Mercy, 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 come here. Mercy. I know, you probably got tired of me leaning forward, didn't you? Come here, little girl. You coming? I have a feeling Angel's not going to show up. Come here. What's a live stream without Mercy anymore, huh? There's Mercy. And as usual, she's purring like crazy. Aren't you? I don't think I've ever seen a cat that purrs as much as this one is. Even after I just stepped on her little foot. Poor baby. Yeah. What do you think, huh? What do you think? Oh, my. Yes. You don't need to lick my finger. No, you don't need to lick my finger. No, you don't need to lick my finger. Hmm? Well, we'll see if anybody shows up. It's a beautiful day out there. Unfortunately, the sun is beaming right on this side of the barn, so it's quite hot right in that spot. But what? What is my nose? What? Don't like me talking? Huh? You don't like me talking? That's me. That's me. I do not need you licking my chin. No, I don't. No, I don't. Yeah, you're too cute, and I think you know it. Yes, you know you're too cute. Yes, you do. This is her nap time. Yes. She's a sleepy little girl. Going to get down on my lap? There you go. Okay. You going to curl up on my lap? Maybe. You did earlier. Oh, stinking flies. Of course, fly swatter's in the house. I could use it out here. Oh, anyway. So, yeah, it's a little warm right now at this time of day. If I got to work out here, I like to do it early in the morning or later in the afternoon when we have a little bit of shade. But this time of day, this time of year, the sun just beats right down in that corner. And gets quite hot. So I've been working on boards. I'll show you here. Okay. Now, this part right here. This part right here, I did not get that part sanded, okay, because that's where my clamp was holding the board down, so I could do the sanding. But I need to trim this board anyway. Actually, is this the board? I think this is the board that's too short. I have to take the measure tape out. Anyway, I had gone and sanded a board for my pantry, and I had forgotten the measurement that I needed, and it was too long. I mean, too short, rather. Well, I can trim a board, but I can't add to a board. Well, I could, but it would involve a lot. So, needless to say, I think this was a short board that I had sanded, and it looks so much nicer than that part. You see how dirty it looked? And this is what it looks like now. Anyway, I'm using these boards like this for the uprights, okay? And I put 2 screws in the bottom under the shelf that it's sitting on, and there's a shelf up top, and I'm putting 2 screws through the top down into this so that it stays vertical and level, or plumb rather, at least in theory. And so and then I trim it to the right width, which is 3 1/4 inches, okay, which is a nice size to accommodate a can. Your standard can, which most of the stuff that I buy is in that size can, okay. There's only a couple things to have a wider can base. It's like 3 1/2 inches, I think, instead of 3 1/4. So anyway, so this is for the vertical board, okay, and I think I need just one more board, and then I need to decide if I'm going to the final end space, if it's going to be for a longer can, like spaghetti sauce, or if it's going to be for shorter cans, uh, which I might be able to get two spaces out of. And that would be either be for, I buy the small cans of baked beans because we're not big bean eaters, but my husband does enjoy them. So I buy the little ones, okay, which is just fine for him. And I also sometimes buy the small cans of mushrooms. Okay, so I could do 2 rows for small cans. Okay, or do 1 row with a bigger can. And I haven't completely decided yet. We'll have to see. But yeah, I got bit. Um, so anyway, so that's what I've been working on is the pantry. And yes, I have recorded some of the stuff. I got my new phone this week. Yeah, my other phone was not charging. So I could not record anything with it. Well, I could have, but there was no guarantee I'd be able to get everything I needed, because if I couldn't keep the thing charged, it wasn't any good. And I had to have it for like phone calls and whatnot. So anyway, so I got my new phone and my son switched everything over and got the old one in the mail. Thankfully, the UPS picked it up, thankfully, because the truck would not start on Tuesday. So that was a problem. We think the starter's going on it. And I mean, I have changed the starter before, but the starter was up near the top. This starter is down underneath. So it's like I've been under the truck before, and I know there is no way that I'm going to get under there and be able to see what I'm doing to work on it. Okay, it's just those days are long gone. My eyes just won't do it because it's either I get under there and it's either the glasses make things blurry. I take the glasses off that makes them blurry, and you can't adjust, where your head's going to adjust your sight. So, I just have to get somebody else to do it for me. Somebody that has a lift. And so I was to talk to the mechanic. What day was it? Was it Wednesday or Thursday? I don't remember. One of those days. I popped over there, talked to him, see when I could bring it in, and I explained to him what was going on. And he said, "Yeah, it sounds like it could be, because most times it'll start. It'll start strong, but every now and then, like Tuesday morning and this morning, he didn't go to church because you go out to start trucking, it won't start. It seems like the problem's getting worse. So, I mean, I had run it yesterday, started a couple of times, no problems. This morning, it was a problem. So, anyway, hopefully, so long as it starts, and probably start later today, but we'll try it and see. And then once that's Thursday morning, take it over to the mechanic and see if he can get it in that day or not. Because he did want it on Wednesday, but we got to make a trip to the dump on Wednesday, and we're also going to be picking up groceries that day. I try to make it worth my while. The grocery store where I like to buy my meat and certain other things is in the same town as the dump. So we do that, and also my husband has a bill he has to pay that's in that town. So we'll be killing 3 birds with one stone on Wednesday. I asked him if I could bring it in Thursday. He said, "Well, check back with me on Thursday, and we'll see." So hopefully he can get it fixed, because there's a couple of things he needs to deal with. Starter, really, it's not difficult. It's an easy, plug and play kind of thing. It's just the position of it, where it's located on that truck. I can't do it, okay? And I know it. So if I had a way of lifting it up, maybe I could do it, but I don't have the means to lift it up. So, like I said, I've changed starter before, but that was when it was just under the hood and it was right near the front of the car, and it was on a vehicle old enough to where it wasn't that complicated to work on. The newer the vehicle, the more complicated it is because everything's tighter. It's like, man, I couldn't believe when I went from an older car to a slightly newer car. I looked under the hood. It's like, holy mackerel! I didn't recognize the engine anymore. Like, hey, my father was a mechanic when I was growing up, and I mean, he would be working on cars, and I just had my head under there, and I recognized a carburetor. Okay, boy, I tell you, I'm dating myself, aren't I? But the round thing that was on top of the engine with that thing coming out with the carburetor, it had the air filter inside. I knew about that. Oh yeah, okay, that's not that hard to do, Well, yeah, I looked under. I never forget the first time I looked under the hood of a newer car, and there was no carburetor. And I said, "Where's the carburetor?" It's like I didn't recognize it anymore. So, needless to say, this truck doesn't have the old style carburetor either, but it does have an air filter. So I know where that is. But anyway, so it's the truck is going Thursday morning. Hopefully, he can fix it, so we don't have any more problems with it not starting. That is a problem. We've got to be able. There's times when you need something dependable. I mean, since I'm not driving the guys anymore, it's not that critical. But every now and then, my son has a doctor's appointment, and he needs to get there. Most of my husband's doctor's appointments have been over the phone, so that's not a big deal. And, it's not a huge deal if we don't get out to get groceries one day. We can wait another day, that kind of thing. It's difficult, but, the doctor's appointments, they're kind of, you got to be there on time. So I hardly ever see a doctor. I'm healthy. So anyway, so that was the truck. I'll tell you. Yeah, but hopefully, with everything else, all the problems that people are having these days with just being able to get parts, please, for the production parts. And I think it's not just Ford. I think there was another manufacturer too that was doing that. A lot of the I heard that a lot of the car dealers that they're not having the new vehicles on the lot like they always had. All kinds of problems. We went and looked at a tractor, a Kubota tractor, and he was saying how they're having difficulty getting mower decks. They finally do have one, but I don't think we're going to be able to get one because if we did, we'd have to finance it. I mean, the tractors. We were looking at the small tractors, and I went and looked at it since we had to go down that way anyway, and they had an advertisement. I said, well, I'll take a look at it. And yeah, the bare bones tractor is not that bad. Actually, better than I thought it was. But then you start adding a mower deck and a front end loader and a PTO. Actually, I think the PTO might have been standard. I don't remember. But anyway, then it adds up. And then, of course, if you have financing, then you have to have insurance, and that adds more to the cost. So we're not getting a tractor. It was just a little one that we were looking at. I think it's the smallest one they make. And it was an interesting conversation with the sales guy because, he was saying, what they say about tractors. I said, yeah, I know. I said, you get one, you think that's the right size and go bigger because you always need something bigger. But I said, for us, I mean, I just have goats. Most of my property, I don't believe is mowable because of the hills. Okay. Some of the hills are not that bad. Yeah, we can mow, but some of them are pretty steep. it doesn't bother the goats any, so I'll let them have those. But a lot of the other hills, it's just too steep for a mower, a riding mower anyway. And so this is the one we were looking at was a step above your lawn tractor. It had a front end loader. It wouldn't have been able to handle a round bale, which is fine. I don't use that much in the way of round bales, and the only reason I do get round bales is because my neighbor, he sells them for a very reasonable rate for me, even though he did increase the price this year, which I'm glad he did, because I really felt as if he was shortchanging himself with how much he was charging me before. So I'm happy with the increase. It's reasonable. So he's I'll be getting hay from him. He'll bring a round bale up and he'll drop it where I want it. He'll either put it in the hay shelter or he'll put it out in the pasture if I want it in the pasture. It's not a problem. And so it's nice to have that. I like having the square bales. The square bales are easy for me to handle. I can stack them. I can get them out. I can dole out how much I want to feed them and everything. But it's nice having the round bales too, because he brings them in and he drops them. Okay. Now, if he ever decides he's not going to do hay anymore, then I will definitely have to go with all square bales. So, but as of right now, I do square bales, that I keep stored, and then I'll be starting to get round bales from him pretty soon, I think. And I go through about 2 round bales a month. So, and that'll get me through. See, this is September. I'm hoping to start getting round bales by October. So October, November, December, January, February, March. And I'm hoping there's something coming up in April. So that's about 6 months. And I probably don't even need to use 2 round bales. In October, I probably can get away with just 1. So, that's 12 round bales. Really, that's not bad. So, plus I got the square bales, and that's mainly for using for the goats, and I use the round bales mainly for the horses. Now, I honestly, I'll be perfectly honest, guys. I don't know how much longer I'm going to have Deezer. I really don't know. It's like I'm doing what I can for her, but I see her going downhill. So I think her days may be numbered. So if she's gone, then that would leave Honey and Chucky. So and I trying to get him used to coming over with the horses. I've got him pretty much off of Daisy now. I think that I still let him roam with the goats. Because I can't get him to stay in the pasture with the horses. I need to lower the electric fence. Thing is, the goats, I still want the goats to be able to come and go in that pasture as they wish. So Daisy is the tallest goat. So long as I have the fence at least in one spot where it's just high enough to where Daisy can clear it, then we should be good. Chucky's getting bigger, so but it won't be long and he won't be able to get under it anymore. But if I have the fence, the hot wire part of the fence lowered enough, I can probably keep Chucky in. He got bit by the fence once, and so he knows that hurts. So hopefully, maybe another month or 2, when I need him to be in with Honey, he'll be able to. I'll be able to keep him in there. Because he'll be eating mostly hay at that point anyway, so there's no reason to let him go around with the goats. Come winter, there's not too much out there for them to eat. So anyway, yeah. So work is working here. Work is not driving the guys anymore. I debated on getting another job, a part-time job, And I was told that there's a particular store in this area that's hiring. And it's like, you know what? I appreciate that, and I may still at some point have to do that. I don't know, but I'm going to hold out. I'm going to see how well we make out with just our Social Security, because right now, because I have the time, I am able to get some stuff done. So, I mean, I don't have a lot of extra money, but I have some, so I can get certain things that I need. Um, no, it's not enough for a tractor. And it's not even enough for a four-wheeler. I'm hoping I can save up enough money for a used horse trailer if I can find one. But, you know, I will need a horse trailer, I expect, by, let me see here. I'll say by February, because I'm hoping to have a bunch of kids to take to market. I don't know about a bunch. We'll see. Because I know Mama is due, I'd say early October, the first week of October, if she lasts that long, because she's getting pretty big. And I think Coco's not far behind her. And I fully expect to get twins from both of them. Now, Moo Moo and Little Miss, they're still not very far. Not I mean, they look pregnant, but you know, I think it's going to be Little Miss and then Moo Moo. Daisy, I'm not 100% sure if she's bred or not. I saw Billy do his job, but whether or not she took, I don't know. I wondered about her because of what she went through with her last pregnancy. So, you know, only time will tell. I mean, if she just has one, I'm hoping she has two, you know, and I'm hoping at least one is going to be a doeling. But we'll see. Only time will tell. Oh, now we're going to lay down, huh, Mercy? She's laying on the feed bag down here. Yeah, I still got to get these feed bags ready, but, you know, we're going to the dump on Wednesday, so all this will go then. So, yeah, so if I can get a bunch of goats to go to the market, that will be helpful. But we'll see. Looking at sugar, and I really wasn't in a hurry to breed any of the doelings just yet. I wanted to wait until later, but I'm looking at Sugar, and it's like, Sugar, did he breed you? I didn't think that she was in season. They seem to be a little bit more vocal when they go into season the first time, but I never saw Billy go nuts over her, so I'm hoping not. So she could have just had a full rumen. You know, sometimes if they have a full rumen and they've been chewing the cud a bit, they do look, by evening time, they look nice and round, okay, which is good. But I really don't want to breed the doelings this early. I like to wait until, you know, later on, you know, like in the new year. That's when I would like it to happen. But we'll see what happens. So, yeah, so that was work. You know, if I can manage without getting a part-time job, at least for now, that's what I want to try to do. Yeah, it'd be nice to have the extra money, but, you know, there's only so many hours in a day, and I'm only one person. I really have a lot of work I got to get done here. A lot of work. So, but anyway, so I told you I was working on my pantry, and I am really, really pleased with how well it's going. Yeah, I don't have a planer or a jointer or anything like that, but I saw a YouTube video, of course, where he showed you how to get your edges pretty much straight using a level on your table saw. And so that's what I've been doing. And for what I'm doing, it's fun. Okay. It does the job. It's more work. Okay. It takes me longer to get it done. If I had a jointer, it'd be lickety split. Okay. But I don't. I have the table saw and I have to make adjustments, you know, but that's okay. At least I'm getting it done, and it's good enough for what I'm doing. And when it comes to sanding, well, I have my angle grinder, and I got some discs that are high grit. They're actually for metal, but I figured, you know what? If they're coarse enough and strong enough to handle metal, I bet you they'd still do a decent job on wood. So that's what I've been using, an angle grinder with a coarse grit. I could probably change it to a finer grit if I wanted a nice smooth surface. But listen, this is just from my pantry at this point, where it's just shelves to hold up stuff. Okay, some place where I can store food and whatnot. Okay, so that's what I'm doing, and I think it's really coming out nice. This is the one board, and let me see here. I think this is the one that's the right length, and I really like. I don't know how well you can see the grain, but it comes out so nice. You can see the imperfections here, the waviness. I think it's showing up there, and I kind of like it. It's has a rustic feel to it, kind of. And this is just free pallet wood. Okay, that's what I'm using. That's what I've got. It's cheaper than buying dimensional lumber. Yeah, maybe it's not quite as pretty, but for what my purposes, it's fine. It's doing the job. Yeah, that's the one I got to trim the sides on my table saw. I had the angle grinder plugged in, so I figured, well, you know what? Unplug that and plug the table saw in. Usually, I do the sides first, the edges. But since I already had the grinder already plugged in because I was doing the other board that was too short, I figured, well, I'd go ahead and sand it down, and then I'll do the sides after I have it all sanded down. That's why the sides are still dirty on it. You see how they're dirty, and that's clean. So, so a lot of the stuff, it's a job, and I've got some cheap clamp. This is your Harbor Freight specialty. It has its limitations, but it'll only go like that wide. And then I have two of these, and then I've got another one. I think it's just a smidgen shorter. So anyway, I can do like what maybe 2.5 foot board, set of boards, with shelf, whatever. So, there's a lot of things that I can do with that. So the 3 clamps, yeah, it might be nice to have a few more, but 3 clamps will do the job. Okay, it'll do, because most of my paddle boards are about they're right around 3 feet long. Okay, I have a few that are longer. Okay, but most of them are right around 3 feet plus or minus. So, you can get away with 3. Okay, as long as my boards, aren't doing this, then they'll work. And I try to pick and choose through my boards. So the pantry is what I'm doing right now, getting that done. And then once I get the pantry done and I get stuff put away in there, then I can clean out the corner where the sink is going to go, and get the floor down in that. And what I want to do is, let me see here. Let me see. This is going to be a little bit unique. Okay, but in the corner, I want to do like a shelf, like this, only much bigger. Okay, wider, like out of 2x material, which I'll probably have to buy the 2x material for what the sink is going to sit on. See, I want to put the sink in the corner, sitting on the shelf, and I don't want any legs under it. Between the sink and the floor, I don't want any kind of legs. So I got to make sure that I have enough support that's going to be able to handle the weight of a sink full of water. Okay, because I don't want it falling in. So I don't want to put legs in there underneath it, but I may not have a choice. I may have to, at least one, about in the middle or something like that. But anyway, I have this idea in my head, and we'll see if I can do it or not. I think it'd be really cool, because then I've got all underneath. Most of the plumbing will be back in the corner behind the sink. Okay, and then I can put like a false front just in front of where the drain goes in. Okay, so that's behind a wall kind of thing, but it'll still be accessible because it won't be fastened in or anything. And then I want to have like bins on casters, which I've picked out casters at Lowe's that will be more than sufficient, that I can roll in and out of that. So it'll make the floor easier to clean because I can just pull these bins out. I don't have to worry about a kick plate or anything like that. And if Angel happens to bring a mouse in the house again, which she's done a couple of times, I could just, okay, I'm going to pull these bins out, go get that mouse. And if Gracie can get hold of it, the mouse is done. Okay. Angel's the one who likes to bring the mice in and let them go. I don't know if it's for future entertainment purposes or she's trying to share. I don't know. But she thinks she's got to bring a live mouse in the house and let it go. It's like, no. So now Gracie, if she sees a mouse, if she can get hold of it, it's done. Okay. That's it. Because she likes mice. Not the way that Angel likes mice. But anyway, that's another story. So, so that's a plan. And I'm going to make 2 other bins that I can put in the pantry because the skinny end of my pantry, and this will be in the video, but the skinny end of my pantry, I'm going to have 2 bins that'll fit in there that will be on casters that I can pull out, okay, that will hold some larger items, whether it be flour or dog food or what have you, anything like that. You know, it'll be in a bin that I can roll in and out, okay, and take right on out of the room real easy. Okay, that's the plan. Okay. So anyway, I'm building all this stuff with my pallet wood. And hopefully I've got, I have one clamp that's a corner clamp. So I can use that so that my corners for my bins are true. Okay. Because I've tried squaring things before and I'm not real good at it. I try. And I've managed, everything is usable that I've built. But, when you're building for something that is in your home, you want it to be a little bit nicer. Now, if you've been following me, you remember, my kitchen remodel in my house up in New Jersey. Oh my. I knew I wasn't very good at it, and time was of the essence and all this, it was functional. It wasn't pretty. I know it wasn't pretty, but it was functional. I was able to work with it. Well, I'm hoping that what I do this time is going to be not just functional, but a little bit pretty too. That's what I'm hoping. I want it to look nice. So under the sink, it's going to be like this shelf. It's going to bring the sink up to a comfortable height. Okay. So there'll be a lower shelf that'll run underneath the sink. Okay. And this is all going to be open. Okay. And then there's going to be another shelf that's going to come up even with the sink. Okay. So I can have a drain board. And so it'll be like a 45-degree angle coming into the sink. I've seen these dish drains that I've seen them on tiny houses and stuff where you mount them up on the wall and they'll drain. You put your dishes up there and it drains into the sink. I said, that's kind of cool, but I don't know if it would work for what I want to do because it's going to be in the corner. Okay. And I've got the hot water heater thing right there. So I don't know if something like that will work or not. But if not, I'll just have to rig something up. Maybe sand the top shelf down so that it slopes right into the sink. Maybe put a little bit of a lip on it. You can do a lot with just a little bit of an edge, and then obviously I'd have to waterproof that particular shelf / counter. And then I want to have, instead of having, of course, what's going to be on the shelf, between the two shelves. I don't know if it will be, casters, of course, won't work. Okay, casters are fine for whatever's sitting on the floor, but what's on the shelf above that, that the sink is sitting on, I'm not sure if I'm just going to have like little uh, wooden bins or baskets or something like that to put stuff in there, for like silverware or what have you. But I also have the hutch, not a hutch, the little cabinet that my brother gave me that I use to put my coffee pot on, and I keep my coffee stuff underneath there and stuff like that. I still want to use that cabinet, but I think I want to put casters on it. Right now, there's no casters on it, so I can move it around if I need to for whatever I'm doing. Um, so it's just not stuck in one space. And we'll see. This is still a project. I'm still thinking, processing it all. Um, I still have the stove that my brother had bought me, and that's what we're using right now. But I think if the thing ever dies, I think I'd like to see about converting to just a cooktop and have a toaster oven. They make fairly good sized toaster ovens anymore, and it's more than enough for my family. Just a simple toaster oven. I don't need a big oven so much anymore. But that would also give me more storage space. So, but right now I'm using what I have, which is the stove that my brother bought me. Um, and it was brand new when he bought it for me. And that was, what, 4 years ago? Uh, yeah, it'll be about 4.5 years ago, something like that. So, and I have never, ever been able to get that bottom drawer, to close and stay straight. It drives me nuts. So right now, the bottom drawer on these stoves, these electric stoves, it's supposed to fit in there. I've never, ever had a stove that I couldn't get the drawer to go in right. I've never had this problem. This stove, I cannot get that drawer, and I have looked at it, and I've tried to I get it in there just right, and then all of a sudden, conk. So anyway, I've got a crooked drawer. I don't know. I may see about just taking the drawer out and putting a false wood front on it or something like that. I don't know, because right now it drives me nuts. But it is what it is for right now, because everything's a work in progress. Okay. So anyway, here I'm rambling on and on and on and on. Nobody's joined me in the chat yet. Well, they're probably out there enjoying this lovely weather. It's beautiful out there right now. Like I said, I would be out there working, except right now it's kind of hot right here. So I'll probably go in and do something inside the house for a little bit. I have some the fronts to put on my my vertical pieces so that the cans have some place to set in there. I've got the one. Hold on a second. There better not be a cow eating my tarp out here. I gotta trim that away. It sounded like Chucky might have been out there. He'll pull the strings off the tarp. The tarp shredding. The cheap tarp is. And he'll pull it. I have to rush out there and take him out of his mouth. I mean, what is with you? There's all kinds of really yummy grass, and you're taking off the blue strings off this raggedy old tarp. I started to take it down, and it just was doing more shredding than it was cutting, and I need to replace it. The other, I don't know. I think I got the other tarps someplace else. I don't know where this one came from, but it's really beat up. It just hasn't held up at all. Oh, I was hoping to have this barn finished by now, but needless to say, nothing's going to be done with it now until spring, when I get all the hay out of here. And hopefully by then I can get the cement floor poured, and then I can get the walls done. Because I can't get the walls done until the cement floor is done. So I can get some good airflow and dry out. And then once that's done, oh, hey, someone's princess. I'm sorry. Okay. Hi. Seeing your project. Oh, I can't wait to show you. I've been recording. You do a great job. Thank you. Oh, That's it? You're leaving me? I hope not. Anyway, yeah. So come spring, I'm hoping to be able to get the floor poured in here, and then I can get the walls done. So yeah, okay. Thank you. Yes, and then I can get rid of the tarps, and we'll see what happens with the doorway. Oh, okay. I'm glad you're not going to leave me high and dry. You know, high and dry. So anyway, um, I'll tell you, I'm so easily distracted on. I am terrible. So I'm really I'm happy to have the extra time to work on these projects. I really am. I mean, I still have fences to do and stuff like that. You know, if the price of lumber continues to come down, and it's been creeping down. Pressure treated at the last time I checked was still cheaper than your regular lumber. So we'll see how that goes. I've been keeping an eye on it. That's okay. That's okay. Oh. So anyway, so I talked about the truck. I talked about work, which is staying here at home and working on stuff here, which is nice. The other thing I want to talk about is I got a phone call yesterday. I had to drive an Amish friend to go look at a cow. Okay. Thank you. Anyway, so I took him to go look at a cow. Well, it was an older couple, and while he was off looking at the cow, I was sitting there talking to the guy. He had a heart attack. Had some health issues going on, so he wasn't getting up and around. But he enjoyed, having the conversation, having company, I think. And that's fine. That's good. So, we got talking about, livestock and stuff like that, and goats. And he has, I don't know if he still has goats or he had goats. And so we were talking about goats, and he said, he asked me what I had. I've got the Kikos. I have one Seinen. We were talking about different things associated with them, and I was telling him, he said that he likes Kikos because they don't have the foot issues. So, well, mine do right now, and that's, why there's something in the works here. They just don't have enough rough ground to walk on. It's mostly because I have soft ground in most places. And he was saying, we'll get some crushed cement or stones or what have you, and line the path. I said, I'm working on it. It's an ongoing project. I said, when I built my goat barn for the girls, I didn't have time. It was a rushed project. I had to get it done because I had kids that were due at any time. Okay, and so we finally got them in. But I didn't have time to be spreading any gravel. But when I built my buck barn, I put gravel inside, and I put gravel just outside the doorway too. Probably stand to put some more gravel in there, but So anyway, he was talking about, we know about the copper and stuff, but selenium is really important too. And if they don't have selenium, they can die. I said, yeah, I know that. As I know, make sure they have the copper, and I think that the supplement that I give them has selenium in it too. And so this morning I checked. This is one of the feed bags. This is the it's backwards on my screen, but this is the supplement that I give them, and you see the goats on there too, the chicken, rabbit, horses. I give this to Diza and the goats. Even the boys get this. And let me see here. If you can see, let me get down to here. Hold this across here so you can see. Okay. You see down at the bottom, you got selenium at the very bottom, and then you got copper. Okay. So this does have the selenium and the copper, which is two very important things. There's other things in here too, like the phosphorus and the calcium. Now they get a higher percentage of calcium because I feed them alfalfa. If I remember correctly, alfalfa is higher in calcium than phosphorus. Anyway, I still have to do my calculations. They're not like what I feed is if I'm going to bump up anything, it's going to be the alfalfa, okay, because it has the higher protein and it's also forage based. So I give them anywhere from, I think I mentioned this before in another video or another live stream. This is what I use to measure out their feed. For the does, they get fed twice a day right now because they're pregnant, and they'll get at least 2, if not 3.5 of these, okay, per feeding, and then they get 3/4 right here of the supplement, okay, and then they get a full one of the sweet feed, which is a mainly oat-based sweet feed, okay. There's very, very little corn in that feed, which is what I like. So the oats is mainly it's a treat. It's not a heavy grain. It's a light grain. It's easier in their stomach. And of course, you get a little bit of molasses. This is not a really heavy molasses feed. And so anyway, so I give them that. And the only reason that I continue to have this is because it's got selenium and it's got copper in it. Okay, so and they get that little bit extra. So I know that they're getting selenium and I know they're getting copper. I do try to give them extra copper throughout the year, especially now that they're getting ready to kid. I really do need to get copper into them. When I had the copper boluses, and what I do is I get the Fig Newtons, okay, a cheap knockoff brand, okay, and I split them open. I cut them in half and split them open, and I put the copper on the gooiness of the fig, okay, and I'll give them, like Daisy, because she's so big, try to give her at least 2, and all the others will try to give them at least 1. If I can get more than that into them, then great. The only thing is the kids, the Dolings, they haven't figured out that the cookies are good. So the mamas, oh yeah, they're all about the cookies, and they haven't had cookies for a while. I gotta, make sure they still have an interest in cookies. But anyway, so I'll give them that about 2-3 times a year. I'll give them that just to give them that little extra copper, especially when they're kidding. So like I said, I need to get that into them within the next week or 2. So yeah, I break the copper boluses open and put that in there. So I know they're getting the copper that they need. But now, I did double check and I made sure that it does have selenium, and that's why I get this. It's not cheap. It's like twice as much as a regular bag of feed. Okay, easy, double the price. But you don't feed them a lot. Okay, it's like I said, I'm just giving them a little bit, and they're only getting that because it has all this other stuff in it, and it's a supplement. It's not really a feed per se. It says protein concentrate for beef and dairy cattle and horses. It doesn't say goats on here, but they have goats on the picture. And they don't have a cow. That's not a cow, that's a goat. So they're all cute. Do you get this from Tractor Supply? No, actually, Tractor Supply, I believe, carries calf manna, this is similar to calf manna. This is the feed store in London. It's called Berkman, okay, and then they do their own feed. It's a little bit cheaper than the calf manna, but if you need the calf manna, check the label. Always check your labels, okay, to see what's in there. There we go. Always check your nutrition labels, so that you know, because not everything has copper, not everything has selenium. A lot of things these days do. Of course, if you have sheep, you got to watch the copper because they can't have as much copper. So Oh, hi, Tim Turner. How you doing? Um, yeah. So there's you got to check with whatever feed store you go to see what they carry. I said calf manna is similar. Um, this is local, so and it just runs a little bit cheaper and it does what I want it to do. So I'm happy with that. Um, yeah. So I'm hoping that before too long I can get them on more of a forage and less on the bagged alfalfa pellets. Okay, I'm doing good. How are you, ma'am? I'm good. I'm good. Busy, but that's always the way, isn't it? Always got something going on. You come in at the tail end. I don't usually stay on here more than an hour. um, anyway, what was I going to say? Oh man, I tell you, I'm terrible. I get distracted so easy. Yeah, Mercy, come here, sweetheart. Oh, she just woke up. She just woke up. There she is. Yeah, purring. She's not really quite awake yet. Oh, yeah. So I'm hoping that at some point, yeah, I can get away from the bagged pellets. I want to get into growing a lot of stuff that the goats can forage on a little bit longer. Now, I do have busy is great to be. I try to be all the time. Yes, it keeps you out of trouble, don't it? So anyway, yeah, the before too long, I'll start having the acorns dropping, and then those will all be after the acorns. They'll just chow down on those. I don't have any oaks right in the main compound here, but I do have them up on the hills, and that's where they'll go. I've got them at the top of the driveway, and they just once the acorns start dropping, they are all about them. I'll tell you. I don't know who's going to get to them first, the squirrels or the goats, but they love the acorns. So that will give them extra nutrition too for having the kids. So it does, yes. So anyway, make me feel old calling me ma'am. That's all right. So anyway, um, Mercy, I'll tell you, she has really come out of her shell, hasn't she? She is something else. I see her running around here and playing in the evening, when we're getting out there feeding, and she's running down by the goat barn, and she's climbing the trees, and she's behind the chicken coop, and she's just running around, just having a blast. Hard to believe this little thing just a few short weeks ago was skin and bones. And she's definitely put the weight on. It's amazing what a regular meal will do. Yeah, she's just a lover. So. Didn't plan on getting a second cat, but I'll tell you. So anyway, all right. I'm going to put you down, sweetheart. There you go. Yeah, I know. So anyway, I guess I should probably get off because I got to get this board ready to take the sides off, trim it down, fly, get off of there. And then I got to get some dinner. Man, I tell you, the flies, it's that time of year. I'm really looking forward to the first frost. That's when we get a few less flies. What, Mercy? You act like you're still half asleep, girl. She's trying to climb back up on my lap. But, Texas, yes. My dad was from Texas. Texan through and through. Yes, that's why I don't take any offense to it. But he was from the South, but I was born in the North. Looking forward to seeing you make the sync project. I know, isn't that going to be something? Can you picture it in your mind? How it's going to look? And it's like, when I thought of that, it's like, that would be so cool. And it's just, I just like an open, I don't like things cluttered on the floor. I hate it. And that's what I have mostly right now because I don't have a home for anything, and so I wanted things to be modular, movable, not nailed in place and stuck there. I want things to be movable. Well, you can't move your sink, It's you have to have your sink stationary. So okay, that's going to be. But you know what? Nothing else associated with the sink has to be stationary. What's holding the sink up? Yeah, that does. Okay. Well, everything else, if I need, to get on the floor there and just, pull it out and clean it up real easy, not fight with stuff. It's on wheels. That's what I'm thinking anyway. So hopefully, I said, I have it in my mind. I'm hoping it'll work out. We'll see. I'm not a finished carpenter. I'm learning as I go. My skills are developing as I go, and we'll just see how things turn out. That's all. My biggest thing is being able to get the 1/4 inch plywood, which comes in 4x8 sheets, so I can finish the walls off. And it's like, I don't know about getting that in the back of my truck. I think I need just about that much more room. I'm not sure, so we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, I really do have to get off because it's been almost an hour, and I do have more things I got to do. I really want to get this pantry done. It was going to be done yesterday, except I had to go take a guy to look at a cow. So, but it was a nice visit that I had with a gentleman. We talked goats and other things. I told him much about Chucky, and so need help. I do a thing like that. Woodworker. Oh, are you really? Oh man, you might embarrass me. Have a good day. We'll see you later, someone's princess. It's like, I don't know who, I never turn away help, but at the same time, when someone's volunteering, I don't expect it. Because volunteers, they show up when they show up. Oh, hi, Heavens Bound Homestead. You're here just in time to say goodbye. You put anything on wheels, make sure the wheels have locks. I'll learn the hard. Yeah, I hear that. They don't all have to have locks, but if you have two, that's what you need. So we'll see, yeah, for sure. But we'll see what they have available. Like, I was looking at the casters. I don't want the heavy duty ones. They don't need to be heavy duty. The lighter weight ones. So if they have them with locks, that's great. Or, maybe I can rig something up. We'll see. So I've been watching. You've been sneaky, lurking in the background. That's all right. It's perfectly all right. Well, anyways, I got to go. I got to get to work. So I will talk to you later, everybody. Have a good rest of the weekend. And hopefully, if I can get my videos edited and get them up, then you'll see them. I might be there. Just email and or call. Hey, I got email. Anyway, I got to go. So I will talk to y'all later, okay? I'm sorry. I got to go.